All right, I think we're good to go.
Well, great. Well, thank you to everybody for coming to this noon meeting the day before Trans Day of Remembrance. We'll do brief introductions and follow, of course, the normal cadence of the meeting, but the bulk of what we'll talk about today is just planning for tomorrow. My name is Mike Waters. I'm the chair of the LGBTQIA plus Intersectional Rights Task Force and a member of the Salem Human Rights Commission. I live in Ward 7. My pronouns are they, them, and I will pass it to Kathy.
Hi, my name is Kathy Ostrand-Ponshin. My pronouns are she, her. I am a resident of South Salem, and I will pass it to Byron.
All right. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. My name is Byron Kimball, and I use he, him pronouns. I am a member of Ward 5 and a sitting member of the LGBTQI Inclusion Task Force. And I will pass it on to whoever's next.
I can go. I'm Tricarico. I'm a member of the task force and the commissioner, and I use they, them pronouns, and I'll pass it to Gretchen.
You bet. Excuse me. Hi, everybody. Gretchen Bennett, staff team, and she, her pronouns.
Well, thank you for everybody for introducing yourself. I think did we receive any public comment, Gretchen?
No, sir. No, we did not. Pardon me. Forgive me. I'm sorry.
Thank you. No worries. Thanks for correcting that. Let's go ahead and look at the minutes. Did everybody get a chance to take a look at the minutes from October?
I did. I'd like to make an motion to approve.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Thank you. And now we can jump right into our Trans Day of Remembrance planning. Many thanks go out, first of all, for all the pre-work that has been done. Byron, the posters came out beautiful. Kathy and I had the opportunity on Wednesday, I think it was, to deliver them around town, and people were really excited and gracious to receive them. They were so pretty, and we even managed to get one of the really big ones up. Gretchen, you'd be proud of us. There's a huge one up at Fork 40. It took up the whole bulletin board. It was awesome.
Good.
So many thanks for those. We do have a run of show that includes some opening remarks that I sent out to you all this morning, and I'd be interested in if there's any feedback on those remarks. Then we have the reading of names, and you all should have a spreadsheet with your assignments for that, and we can talk a little bit about any pronunciation issues that folks are encountering with that document we can talk about today. And then we have closing remarks from Tricarico, which Tricarico has already drafted as well. And I got to look at them. I don't know that everybody had a chance to get a look at them, but they're very nice closing remarks. So that's kind of our run of show for tomorrow night. Where should we start with our discussion? Maybe start with the introduction. Were there any comments or thoughts about the opening remarks?
I thought they were really nice. I didn't have any suggestions.
Yeah, I agree. It looks great to me.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm in agreement.
I appreciated the context and the numbers and the trends and just the urgency that you brought to the table, and agree with everyone too.
Great, thank you. Then the next part of our program then will be the reading of the names. And I wondered for the readers that are on, if you had any discussion that you wanted to have around those names, or any concerns about your parts. Kathy, I think you're on mute.
I must have muted myself instead of unmuted. I was just saying, I appreciate going forth. That way I can see how the rest of you do it before I get to my part. And I mentioned to Mike earlier in the week, some of the pronunciations I'm a little unsure of. I will spend some time going through tomorrow and work through any that I may be unsure of. But that was my only concern, is I want to be really conscious of pronouncing names as correctly as I can.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I know, you know, depending on, I speak enough Spanish to be dangerous. And so some of those names I'll probably do okay with, but then there are other countries, you know, around the world where we might struggle a bit. I think for the purposes of the viewers, what's most important is that we are thoughtful in how we try to pronounce things and we try to get it right. And, you know, if you can dig through your list a little bit and see if there's any guidance online for certain pronunciations or that kind of thing. And I think that'll really help. But also, I think we can all give each other a lot of grace. We are all living in Salem, Oregon. We have the experiences we have and the speech patterns that we have. And the important thing is that we're trying and we're remembering the importance of the person that we're speaking about. And that any mistakes are just accidents, but they're, you know, we'll just give each other grace through the event. Those are my thoughts, but any other thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. And I will say, when I remember last year when I was looking at names, I found a lot just Googling the names if I wasn't sure. So, you know, even with my Spanish speaking skills, there were some names that I think were probably native or, you know, from languages that I don't speak, and I was a little lost, but I found some really great resources online because they even have like, you know, here's a native pronunciator or a native speaker from Brazil saying this name. Here's a native speaker from Spain saying this name. So if you know the location, you can find like the local dialect too, which I thought was really cool. So that's an option if there's one that you're just like, oh, I have no idea.
That's a really good tip. Each of us should have a candle with us. That can be any candle from your home. I think it can be a real candle or an electronic fake candle. I don't think that, you know, but and then I was going to plan, I usually have this as my backdrop, but I was going to plan just to be in a little bit more of a solemn and dark backdrop. There were some of the readers did that last year, and I thought that was super effective in terms of creating an environment for it. So I would just invite you to think about your backdrop a little bit for the event.
Mike, I have a quick question. Do you prompt everybody to, whatchamacallit, to show a candle? I can't remember in your remarks if I saw that, or how do we incorporate the candle into the program?
That's a really good question. I got to go back to these remarks.
Yeah, I didn't plan this, and I had to hold the candle the whole time, and that was really awkward. So I would
You might want to
recommend,
have a holder.
yeah, like having it in the background or having a table or something, because then you're just like, oh my gosh, and you're trying to focus on these names. So
Yeah, good call. Good call there. You know, I think I need to add just a note about the candle that I will add around the time that maybe we do the moment of silence. Oh, it does say tonight we each light a candle to honor the many lights that have been lost this past year. And then we take a moment of silence. And it says, let's take a moment of silence. I'll probably rewrite that. It's a little odd, but you know, I always fiddle with these things right up until the last minute anyway. So yeah, the candle is mentioned, but when I speak to the candle, I'll probably hold mine, you know, or somehow point to it. I need to figure out my setup and backdrop and all that, but yeah, that's a good call out. It's a squirrel.
Sounds like my dog when they really, really want to go for a walk.
Yeah, it is. Well, I'll send Snarfy a text just to remind them about tomorrow night. I'm sure they know. And otherwise, we have everybody who's speaking is on the call today, so we're all kind of set. Is there anything else we need to talk about before tomorrow night? Oh, we should get on a few minutes early, I think. You think about 10 minutes early, Gretchen?
I think that's great. And then I wanted to remind you, those of you that were involved last year would remember this. I turned on the YouTube earlier than you all normally experience it during a meeting, because that way, if some of our guests arrive at the YouTube public meeting channel, they'll see it. Because the way you have to be activated for it to be visible on YouTube. And I would worry if someone arrived 5 or 10 minutes early to the YouTube channel and didn't see anything about the event, they might get confused and think they're in the wrong place.
Right.
So I'm planning on activating it, and I'd like your guidance on what time. But then we'll need to keep our audios off, because what that means is we're recording. So if you arrived into the Zoom and began to chit chat, that would be broadcast. So what we did last time is I had a kind of a screen that was kind of welcome, the event will begin shortly, or something like that, just so that people knew they were in the right place. And then we all kept quiet and didn't talk, because our talking would have been confusing and incongruent with that screen. So what do you think? 15 minutes early or half an hour early, or what do you think?
I think 15 minutes is probably sufficient. And then we can each come on and just make sure that our cameras and mics are off at the start. I think that would work just fine. And I can communicate that with Snarfy as well.
Sounds good. And I think I can mute people if people come on and forget and you see me muting you, you'll know why. Great.
So if you plan to open it about 15 minutes early, then that means between, anywhere from 15 minutes to 10 minutes early is when we should each arrive.
Perfect.
Okay.
I wondered conversely if we wanted to touch base on how the program concludes. Tricarico, do your remarks conclude the event, or do we need to talk about that?
Yeah, I think that was kind of my intention with what I was saying. I don't remember what I said now, but what do you think, Mike?
I'm gonna go back and look at them.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I said.
I think you did. They were really nice. Yeah. Yeah, you end it with thank you again for joining us, and have a great night.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Then after I hear you say that, I would conclude the YouTube.
Yeah.
And then if you all wanted to chat or debrief for a moment, that certainly works, but I'll shut off the YouTube after you say that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
I know at my end, I can't think of anything else. I think
This may have been our fastest TDOR planning we've done. I guess we've been at this for a few years.
Yeah.
So we know what to do. Well, I don't think we need to make this meeting go longer than it needs to, but is everyone feeling comfortable with tomorrow night?
Yeah, I would say I think we're all set.
Great. Byron, are you joining us on the Zoom, or are you going to watch on YouTube?
I will try to join on Zoom.
Okay, cool.
Oh, goodness. I wonder if I've given you a Zoom link. We don't need hiccups like that. Right when we end this conversation, I'm going to, right? I don't know that I have. I am going to conclude, once we've concluded our meeting, watch for an email from me. I can actually send it as a calendar invite, or maybe I should do it as you're used to. I'm going to send an email with
The
the
way
Zoom
we
link.
normally
Yeah.
do it, I think, Gretchen, that would
Exactly.
be.
And of
most-
course, Snarfy as well.
Yes.
Goodness, I might have discovered that tomorrow. I'm glad we're
The
talking.
others that were copied on the email, I don't know. I took Corey and Jay Lee and Rowan off because I knew that for the three of them, none of them were wanting to participate this year. I left on the other names that were on there because Amelia's part of the task force, and is she officially part of the task force now? She's come a few times anyway.
Not yet, but that's a great observation.
And
Perhaps
Danielle
she'd be
is in.
interested.
Danielle is just a longtime interested person, so I left Danielle on there as well. But I don't know, for the purposes of sending it out, the link, I don't know who you want to send it to, but I think any of those people are perfectly safe to have the Zoom link. If they wanted to attend that way, that would be fine.
Very good. I just had one other off event question for the team, but I don't mean to wrap up the TGOR discussion early.
Go for it.
I wanted to just check in. Mike and I were emailing about the month of December and confirm if and whether or not the December 22nd meeting date works. I know we had adjusted November, so just wanted to check in and confirm if you would like to hold a meeting on December 22nd or not, just for our planning purposes.
That should work for me, but I'm also flexible if we need to change it.
Yeah, I would say 22nd would work for me as well.
Works for me too.
Very good. Perfect.
Well, wonderful. So we'll look for that link from Gretchen, and we've got our parts established, and I'm looking forward to it's always a rather solemn and sober event, but meaningful. So looking forward to that tomorrow night. And I think we can adjourn. Are there any member remarks or announcements? No, I didn't think so. Okay, I think we can adjourn. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
All right.